I suppose, share with you a few thoughts that I believe are necessary as well in this battle which is going on. And I suppose the whole language, pro-life, and people say the opposite or the alternative is pro-choice. I wouldn't say pro-choice at all. What choice has the baby got, we ask ourselves? The baby has no choice. So it's not right to call it pro-choice. And fair and be plain and simple about it, it's pro-life or pro-death. That's what it is. There is no in between. And as we've heard plenty of times here tonight, and when we really settle down and think about it, abortion, what does abortion do? It kills tiny little babies growing in their mother's womb. And there's nothing more precious, there's nothing more beautiful than newborn babies. They just do your heart good to look at them and just to hold them, to lift them. They're so special, they're so precious. We shouldn't forget that. We shouldn't let numbers and statistics and figures take away from the reality of what it is that abortion does. It kills those beautiful little people. Whatever their state of health is when they're born, they're special, they're precious. They're created by God for a single purpose in life that nobody else was created. And we need to be really aware of that. So by every single, and again it's true here, by every single available piece of data, the universal consensus is that human life begins at conception. Don't let anybody tell us anything different. They call it something else and they say it's matter and it's this and it's that. Don't accept it. We have to be really stand up and say that's not true. Babies at conception are a baby, they're a person. We have to really strongly put that case forward. A baby is a baby, and calling it a fetus or an embryo doesn't change that fact. It is a tiny human being, and we need to really, really impress that upon the people that we're chatting to. And then the other great thing is, health care. Abortion is sometimes described as health care. Well, I'd ask you, and any of us with a half a brain cell, how in God's name is killing a baby ever fit to be described as health care? It makes no sense. And as mentioned here tonight and on the video several times as well, we must highlight this blatant lie at every opportunity. The lies that are out there, we have to contradict them. There's the same about Savina. That's a lie. And there's plenty of information and data there to say how much of a lie it is. But so many people believe it because they're just plastered with this one side of the story all the time, and they really do believe it's true. We have to go out there, we have to actively make sure that we spread that news that it's not true and it's just a front for what they wanted. As I said there, the language again, the my body, my choice, as I said earlier, another contradiction which is allowed to be aired in the public domain through mainstream media outlets all of the time. And the simple thing is, if we take this slogan to its logical conclusion, then the unborn baby is equally entitled to that choice, even by their own language. Why is this baby not allowed to have the choice? If they think it's so important that they should have the choice. So the fact is that abortion kills babies. Again, the language around that is trying to sanitize it too, as I said before, by calling it health care, by talking even about a termination rather than an abortion. Abortion word, they don't like that word because it is harsh, and we know it's harsh, and we know what it does, and so they try to move away and use the language in some way, tame down some way. So attempts to deflect from this fact, we need to be on the guard and not let it happen. We can't let it continue. And we know, like any of us again, we know it's a fact that it's utterly wrong to kill another human being. We don't even like to see an animal killed on the road. We don't like to see any animal cruelty to any animal. And this is worse than that. This is worse than cruelty. This is killing a little baby, a little person who, like ourselves, like if only somebody gave us the chance to live, we wouldn't be here. If somebody had treated us like that when we were about to be born from our mother's womb or on our journey through the mother's womb, we wouldn't be here. And that's what's happening in the future. There's generations of lovely people are not going to be allowed to see the light of day here, or haven't been, and they're never going to be here. That's the shame of it all. That's the fact of it all. So we can't have this thinking that it's something that happens out of sight and out of mind. It's a brutal reality that's happening. And again, I say, as the numbers were put up here tonight as well, and I'm only repeating them, but I think it's very important that we do get that. In the first year that this was legalised, there were 6,666 deaths. And mind that number is significant too, if you really study it. Not counting those who took abortion pills or went abroad. That is a serious amount of life that have been lost. And one of the leading campaigners, and I think it was mentioned before in another place too, one of the leading campaigners in Together for Yes described this as 6,666 small victories. Well, my God, what are you talking about? When then somebody could stand up and say that, you ask yourself the question, where is their mind, where is their brain, where's their heart, where's their soul? It's pathetic. So after 3 years, this figure has exceeded 21,000. And say numbers are numbers and statistics are statistics, and sometimes we don't fully understand the impact that has. But we have to maybe imagine the reality that is. 21 plus thousand. How many people would it take to fill McCool Park there? If there's 21,000 in McCool Park, this place would be rocking. Rocking. That's how many people were taken out of existence since this came through. The rocking full crowd in there enjoying themselves, raising the noise to the rafters. That's the amount of people that have been taken out of society in those 3 years. Again, if you want to put an example of schools, isn't a school of 1,000 children a really big school? At least I think it is anyway. And 21 such schools wiped out. This is the reality, this is the numbers, this is the facts when you put them into a reality. That's what it is, wiped out. Even parish communities, we love our parish community, it means a lot to us. And we come together to church, to Mass. If we do or we don't, that's our own business, but traditionally we've been very good at it in Ireland, and I pray to God that we'll continue to do that, because it is something special. It gives us hope, it gives us something beyond this life, and that's what we're about. We want to give people life so that they can go on and have eternal life, never be taken wiped out, which they will have eternal life anyway, regardless of the wee babies, even they are killed. And then just to put the reality on it too, imagine these little babies, as I said, the joy they bring to their parents, their grandparents, and anybody who's a grandparent will know the joy that your grandchildren bring to you. Just watching them grow up, watching them taking their first steps, seeing how they manage to take a few steps and fall down, but what do? They get up again. They don't think, that didn't work, I'll give up. No, they want to go again, When they smile at the people they know, when you find them in the morning after they've had a nice night's sleep, and they're just full of the joys of life, and this is a new adventure for them. You lift them up and take them down the stairs, they look at the things on the wall, and they think, as if they've never seen it before, there's a new world. They just love life, and we need to give those little people the chance to enjoy life and to live life to the full. And that's a fact of the matter. We like to see the young people go on their first day at school, all these precious special days. This is what's been cut out. We could tend to forget that sometimes. If we just think this baby's aborted and that's the end of the story. It's not. It's the end of a journey that should have happened. And that journey is that little child going to school, first day at school, how proud they are, how proud their parents are. Those are all wiped out. And going to secondary school, going to be tradesmen and women or academic people, going to do teaching, doing doctors, priests, whatever it is. Building generations for the future. Building generations of good people. That's what we love to have. People who care about others. That's what those people don't get the chance to do that. So again, imagine all the joy that they could bring into the lives of other people. We're not getting the chance to see that. This is the reality of what's been taken away. Not getting the joy. Imagine the love that they could bring into the world. They could be some of the greatest people that ever were going to be born, and we've lost them. I think somebody, it was quoted now, I'm not saying this is 100% true, but I'd say it's fairly true, that apparently Hillary Clinton asked Mother Teresa, who's now Saint Mother Teresa, why has there never been a woman president? And she said she's been aborted. And that's a fact. That's the truth of the matter. So, anyway, again, the generations to come, these babies could have been the first line of such a community of good people, and that's been taken away. And the way the trend is going, if it's not stopped, if we don't challenge it, if we don't come out in force and get the information to people of what is really has happened, and how much is not what is supposed to happen, I say that it won't be too long till you be filled Croke Park, 82,000 people who have been aborted. If we let this trend continue, how long will that take? 2 or 3 more years, or 6 more years? It's pathetic if we're going to even imagine that we'll allow that to happen. And again, I say, imagine political leaders sanctioning this, and sadly, mothers in political positions of power celebrating the prospect of such barbarism in Ireland, north and south. I think that's absolutely so painful to listen to and watch. Again, ultimately, this abortion referendum was sold as a safe, legal and rare occurrence. This is the whole line, safe, legal and rare. Well, we know that it never can be safe anyway. How is it safe to kill a baby? Is that very safe for the baby? I don't think so. That it's legal, and we heard there, being legal doesn't make it right, and it hasn't. And if 21,000 or 7,000 a year is rare, I just get that bit either. So we need to really understand that this is the lie that's been sold. It was a fine slogan. It runs off the top of your tongue handy, but it should be taken and challenged. It's not safe. It's legal but not right, and it's damn far from rare. So we need to let them know that. Again, as I mentioned before, once I was speaking about it, is there not some serious contradictory sort of concept here, or government mindset, if you like, that they're creating a safe haven for others escaping from the barbarism of a war, yet condemning such large numbers of our own sons and daughters to an untimely death? There's something really contradictory about that. We're worried about other people, and it was right to do that. And as I said, that it was shameful what happened to maybe young children in institutions and things before. But as one of the speakers here said, now we're not even giving them a chance to be born, and hope that they wouldn't get anything like that. Again, as we know from this very county, we know the hurt and the sadness that come with what happened in Creeshla. 10 people, and we all felt our hearts go out to them all the time, and we always will be thinking of them, praying for them. And imagine the enormity of what that is happening, how many times over that's happening on a daily basis. So we need to really be very careful of what we're about here. And since I'll finish with a wee prayer that I have here, which is number 1, Psalm 139 tells us, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. So all these little babies are known, were known, and will be known by God still. That's if we're going to get anything positive out of this, we know that. But that's a shame that they couldn't get the chance to live life for longer than that. And this is a prayer to save a child from abortion. I think this is one thing we could do, all of us could do, and the more we would get this prayer out to people. If a prayer saved a child from abortion, would it be worth saying? I think so. So this is a wee prayer that I came across some years ago, when it says, a prayer to save a child from abortion. Jesus, my Lord, through the intercession of Mary, your mother, who bore you so lovingly, and of St. Joseph, strong man of faith, who protected you both, I pray to you for the life of the unborn child who is in danger of abortion, the one I have spiritually adopted. Please give to the parents of this particular child the grace and courage to bring it to the life you have destined for him or her to be. So if we could say that prayer, or think about it at least, or in your mind's eye, adopt a little baby who maybe be in danger of abortion. Say a prayer for them every morning when you wake. God knows how many could be saved that way as well. So thank you very much.